What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop and welcome to another Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee video. Now, it's no secret that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are of course remakes of the classic Pokemon Yellow version, and they see us as fans returning once again to the Kanto region. Now, this fact in particular is something that has turned some fans off to the games because they feel like we have been to Kanto too many times and it's just the same old every time. However, the thing about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee that kind of subverts this is that there are actually a lot of new moments within the main story of these games that, even though they are remakes, really make them feel like a new game as well. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. In this video, I'm going to be counting down my personal top 5 new moments in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Now, this isn't talking about any kind of particular gameplay mechanic or anything like that. This is talking about the new story elements that were included within the main story and a bit of the post-game of these games. All of these moments are things that weren't in the originals and were added specifically to these games because personally, I thought that these inclusions of these new elements into the story was one of the coolest things about these games, and so I wanted to highlight it in a dedicated video. Oh, and really quick, before I get to mention, it is kind of self-explanatory, but there is going to be spoilers in this video if you haven't completed the game or got very far into it, so you have been officially warned. With all that being said though, why don't we go ahead and just take a look at some of the coolest new moments from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Starting things off with the number 5 pick on our list is the moment right before you head into Rock Tunnel, where Lorelai of the Elite Four actually helps you defeat some Team Rocket grunts. Now, of course, this moment was not at all in the original, and you didn't even see Team Rocket at all in this area, let alone Lorelai as well. The thing that is really cool about this moment in particular is that it takes one of the Elite Four members and injects them into the story of these games, because of course in the originals we never ever saw any of the Elite Four members outside of Blue, of course, as the champion, in the main story or in the overworld. So to be able to see one of them within this particular instance out in the actual Kanto region itself instead of hiding away in the Indigo Plateau was really awesome, and the fact that she actually helped you defeat some Team Rocket grunts was really awesome as well. This particular area of the game is a bit of an isolated one because you have to travel a ways out from Cerulean City in order to get to this point right before you're heading into Rock Tunnel, and then you still have all of Rock Tunnel to go through before you eventually get back to civilization with Lavender Town. So it was really nice to kind of have this midway point, this midway cutscene to kind of break up this isolation, and it was a great addition to the story overall. Now, our fourth moment on this list comes a little bit later on in the story when you're in the middle of infiltrating Team Rocket's hideout in Celadon City. And that moment in particular would be when you actually get to control Pikachu and Eevee in order to get the card key that a Team Rocket grunt threw up into the rafters. Now, I really don't think I need to explain in particular why this moment is so awesome because you literally get to control Pikachu and Eevee themselves within a main series Pokemon game, and that's just something we have never ever seen before, actually controlling a Pokemon on its own to do something that is important to the storyline. I just thought it was a very cool moment, even if it was pretty brief, because it kind of shook up the gameplay a little bit, which added some variety to the experience overall, and it was just really awesome to experience the novelty of being able to control a Pokemon on its own individually in a main series Pokemon game. And not only did we get to do that, it was also important to the main storyline as well, which I just thought was completely fantastic. Now, number 3 on this list is what I am going to refer to as the Blue arc, and essentially that means all of the extra moments, including Blue, in the main storyline of these games. Of course, in the original Yellow, Blue was your rival, and so he appeared everywhere that Trace does in these games. However, Blue, even though he's not your rival anymore, made numerous appearances throughout the main story, including meeting you after you beat the first gym, helping you defeat Silph Co, and so on. And it was just so fantastic to see such such an important and iconic character make an appearance and a contribution to the main story instead of just being relegated to the post-game like we've seen in some other titles. I really enjoyed how they included him so early on in the story, seeing him for the first time right after you beat the first gym leader, because I was fully not expecting to see any of those classic characters, even though we knew from trailers they were going to be in the game, until the post-game, because that's simply just how it works when it comes to those classic returning characters. However, not only did they choose to have Blue appear early on, they chose to have him appear early and often because we basically saw him all throughout our journey into Kanto, and he even helped us with some important moments like helping us to defeat Team Rocket in Silphco. I really just enjoyed the heck out of Blue's inclusion in the main storyline because he really gave you a sense of excitement and wonder as to what was going to happen next, because we weren't really expecting to have that in these games given that they are remakes and we already know the story. So the fact that it was established so early on that there would be new story elements that we would have to look forward to, and we didn't really know 100% what was going to happen next, and when it involves such an amazing character like Blue, it just made it that much better. Coming in the runner-up spot at number 2 is the one moment that actually waits until the post-game to occur, and that would be your encounter and eventual battle with Green. Now, the reason why this is so cool is because Green is not a new character, but she is new to the games, because Green has essentially been around ever since Red and Blue have been around when the original Gen 1 games were released, but she ultimately did not make it into the games and became a manga staple character instead. However, with the release of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Green finally saw her first official introduction into the game universe, being present in the post-game in Cerulean Cave, where you beat her to the punch in catching Mewtwo, and you eventually get to battle her as well. Now, her appearance is very brief. She doesn't stick around for very long, only long enough for you to get to battle her and eventually defeat her, and she basically disappears after this moment. However, just the simple fact that Game Freak went to the length to include her in this game just really made it so special, because as I said, she has been around for a long time, and she is a character that very many Pokemon fans know about, and we all know the story that she got cut and just wasn't able to be included in the Generation 1 games. So to be able to see her make her grand debut into the game universe with these games was just a wonderful sight to behold, and I hope she can become a more constant part of the game universe from this point on. And at the number 1 spot, what is easily the best new moment in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee for me is the entire Cubone arc. We kind of already knew the story here as it was established in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, and that's that Cubone lost its mother Marowak when it was killed by Team Rocket, and the mother Marowak eventually made its way to the Pokemon Tower, where it was ultimately laid to rest by you, the player. However, in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, this sub-story is fleshed out and explained a little bit more, and there's a lot more events that are added to it. It starts off just as normal when we learn about the Mother Marowak that was killed by Team Rocket, and we eventually find out that it is residing in the Pokemon Tower, and it is preventing us from going any farther into the tower beyond a certain point. So, as you are about to leave Lavender Town to go to Celadon City in order to get the Silph Scope so you can identify all of these ghosts, we see the first new moment in this storyline, and that is Team Rocket are on the edge of Lavender Town conversing amongst themselves when the orphaned Cubone appears in front of them. And instead of being decent human beings, Team Rocket decides to straight up lie to this Cubone right in front of our faces and tell him that his mother Marowak is with them at the Team Rocket hideout, and so they use this ruse to kidnap Cubone as well. And let me tell you, there has never been another moment in the entire history of the main series Pokemon games that has got me as emotionally invested into the plot as this particular moment did, because when I experienced it for the first time, I was straight up heated. From there, we eventually see Jesse and James turn Cubone over to Team Rocket, and this is where we have the chance to ultimately steal him back. And let me tell you, I was once again very emotional and very heated in this battle with Giovanni, because seriously, how dare they? How dare they play on the emotions of Cubone in order to take advantage of it and steal it? Like, that is low even for Team Rocket. Once you get the chance to steal Cubone back, however, you eventually make your way back to the Pokemon Tower, and now that you have the Sylph Scope, you can identify all of the ghosts in the area, including the Mother Marowak herself. And when you identify the Mother Marowak, instead of battling it like you did in the regular games, you get to see Cubone reunite with its mother for a fleeting moment before Marowak's spirit is ultimately calmed and laid to rest after seeing the sight of its child Cubone. From here, we get to see what is the best moment in this entire storyline, because after Marowak's spirit departs, your rival Trace goes up to the Cubone and kind of befriends it, and from there actually adds it to his team and actually evolves it into a Marowak itself. So we really just get to see a beautiful storyline from Cubone getting taken advantage of by Team Rocket and stolen after its mother was already killed by them, to stealing it back and your rival Trace adding it to his team, and seeing that Cubone, who was once orphaned, eventually become a Marowak itself that it had lost in its mother. This has gotta be, personally, even though it kind of was already a story to begin with, one of the most beautiful subplots in all of Pokemon, because even though we kind of already knew the story, we hadn't seen it fleshed out to this degree, and the amount of emotion and just the beautiful way it was told and the happy ending that was given to this particular Cubone was just an amazing thing to see, and for me, it was easily the best new moment in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And there we have it, everybody. Those were my top 5 new moments in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Now, like I said earlier, I absolutely love that Game Freak went to the length to kind of sprinkle in these new story elements into the already established story in order to give us something new to look forward to as we were playing this remake of a classic game. If you guys enjoyed the video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know your thoughts and comments about these moments in the comments below, and if there's another moment in particular that really stuck out to you, please let us know in the comments as well. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for new Pokemon content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, along with my Let's Go Pikachu Let's Play every Monday and Friday as well. And if you enjoy Pokemon remixes, consider following me on Spotify for a bunch of awesome Pokemon remixes. I would really appreciate the support there. It would mean the absolute world to me. With all of that being said though, I will be back on Thursday for another video, so hit that notification bell so you can know as soon as it goes live. And with all that being said, I love you guys, and until the next one, as always, I will smell you guys later.